So the CEO of Robinhood said an outright lie on TV. I don't know what his name is, but he literally lied on national TV about what happened with the people that are using Robinhood and GameStop. I'm just going to show you just a clip of the interview that was shown, and then we're going to get into this.
I want you to address the obvious. This looks like a move by an outfit called Robinhood, which is supposed to be taken from the rich and given to the poor, and doing exactly the opposite. That when the big guys, including one of your main investors in your company, started to lose, you shut down the game to starve the little guy. Fair criticism.
That's not what it is at all. And I know you started this segment. It really resonated with me because you described the story of Robinhood. Robinhood started 5 years ago by pioneering commission-free, no-account minimum mobile investing. And we've been the spokesperson of the individual investor. And our whole goal as an institution is to enable those customers, empower them, and give them access to the markets. Because for the longest time, markets have been only accessible to the wealthy. And so the entire industry adopted our business model in 2019. And in 2020, we added millions of new customers. The entire industry added millions of new customers who took advantage of the market rally and became investors for the very first time. So, we had to make a very difficult decision to protect our customers and our firm.
Why?
But we in no way
why? Explain why you had to do it if it wasn't to protect the guys who had shorted the stocks, which are the big hedge funds. How are you helping the little guy investors?
Well, I know that there's rumors around that, we were directed by market makers or other market participants to do this. And I want to be 100% clear. This decision was not made on the direction of any market maker or other market participants.
So why'd you do it?
Decision. Robinhood, as a brokerage, has lots of financial requirements. SEC requirements. We have to put up money at clearinghouses. The amount of money that we have to put up depends on market volatility, and we're in a historic situation where there's a lot of activity and a lot of buying concentrated in a relatively small number of symbols that are going viral on social media. So we haven't really seen anything like this before, and to prudently manage the risk and the deposit requirements, we had to restrict buying in these 13 stocks. But customers that held them could sell throughout. Thousands of other securities and stocks on our platform were available to freely trade. And our number one priority, as you mentioned, is to make sure our platform is reliable, stable for our customers. We're serving our customers and giving them the tools.
But that's exactly what's in question now.
We're doing everything in our power to turn it back on as soon as prudent.
But that's the thing, is that the trust is in question because it seems like the only people who are getting hurt were the big shots. And that if they were benefiting from this, your small investors now believe that you wouldn't have shut down the game. And just one thing without getting in the weeds here. You don't control the listing venue for GameStop. Now, I used to work in finance, so I know this stuff, but the audience doesn't need to. The New York Stock Exchange does. So if anybody was going to control the listing and shut it down, it should have been them, but it wasn't. It was you. And the reason that they do it is very limited. They do it because they think there's evidence of fraud, or they think that there needs to be a material disclosure by the company that hasn't been made. And that's done to protect the investor. You check none of those boxes here because you don't control the venue. You didn't know about any information that GameStop or any of these other stocks needed to put out. You don't have any reason to believe there's fraud that you've articulated. And you're certainly not protecting these people who've been living the dream of making money, especially at the expense of the big guys. So why should people believe you did this for the right reasons?
Well, we have no choice. We have to comply with all financial requirements and
the SEC
regulations.
hasn't said you had to do this.
Well, lots of brokers have to comply with these financial requirements and have issued restrictions on some of these names. And this is an industry-wide thing. You yourself mentioned that other brokers this week have imposed restrictions. And not speaking for other firms, but for Robinhood in particular, this isn't because there's deals happening with market makers we route to or market participants.
But then why did you allow people to keep selling but not buying? The reason that is so troubling to people is that they were making money buying the stock because they were against the short side. And so by enabling them to sell but not buy, it sounds like you were allowing the hedge funds, and again, one of them owns a piece of you, and they had a big short position. And that looks like a stinky conflict that you didn't come out straight on from the start. Address that.
Well, none of that had anything to do with our decision to do this. Again, this was just looking at regulatory requirements, financial requirements, and we 100% will always protect our customers, where the entire business is operating to empower individual investors and has been since its founding. And that's what Robinhood is committed to continue to do. So we don't want to restrict buying in these 13 stocks. We're doing the best we can to re-enable it, as long as it's operationally and prudent from a deposit standpoint.
So first of all, nobody cares about the story about Robinhood. We could care less about Robinhood. We just want to use the app. I could care less about what the app was called. It could have been Wizard of Oz, and it'll have the same interface. I could have used it. So the fact that he's bringing up the name about Robinhood is no point or anything into the question that he asked. And the reason he stopped us from purchasing the GameStop stock to protect us makes absolutely no sense when the hedge funds can keep selling. So saying that if we kept purchasing stock, they wouldn't be able to fund or make some of their purchases and fund their expenses on their end is a complete lie. That makes no sense. Why would us purchasing stock affect you purchasing your expenses or funding your app and all that stuff? That doesn't make any sense at all. Like Como said, New York Stock Exchange never canceled the GameStop stock. So why did they go out and do it first? Why did they make that initial decision to say we're stopping the GameStop stock? You can't purchase it anymore, and led to that huge problems. It just something isn't right. And even when he asked, isn't there somebody working for Robinhood that has a bunch of stock in GameStop? And he's like, yes, there is. So obviously there is some conflict of interest there. There's something that's going on. And he said that nothing happened, that there was nobody on the other side that told him to close it. That's a load of crap. I'm pretty sure this is how it went. Somebody called him up, CEO of RobinHood, yeah, you gotta have to close that GameStop stock because there's no way we're gonna be losing millions and billions of dollars, and we're giving you a whole bunch of money. And then he goes in, okay, let me close GameStop stock. Boop. That's what happened. It wasn't what he said. It wasn't, oh, let me protect the people that are users from getting money. Like, how that doesn't make any sense. We're getting money and you're trying to protect us from getting money. What's the purpose of using the app? I don't want to. What, you want me to lose money? Like, that whole excuse made no sense. So that was just a full white lie on Robinhood. And I know a bunch of people that I know personally that are moving on from other apps. They're definitely not using Robinhood, and I feel like they're going to lose a lot of users from this whole situation. They don't feel like they have the freedom to do what they want. They feel like Robinhood can easily do this again and control what's happening easily with a push of the button on their side. So we're going to see what happens with Robinhood and see if users keep using this. I know I've been on Twitter and people are saying join this. I know Webull has a promotion going out trying to get most of those Robinhood users to join their program. People are looking for other ways to trade stocks and trade options, because this was crazy that they're able to just shut it down with complete control there and then make an excuse that say they're protecting users. And yeah, you could go on and do what you want, make a little bit of money, but if it's too much or if it's out of our control, then we're going to shut it down. That's not what we want. That's not what the users want. And pretty sure there's going to be hefty consequences later in the coming weeks.